today's video, we're gonna get ready to ship 10 venomous snakes across the United States. So in today's video, we got everything from rattlesnakes to cobras to field's horned vipers, species from monocled cobras, snouted cobras, pretty much all different kinds of venomous snakes. So let's jump right into it. All right, now we're shipping small venomous snakes, we're shipping large venomous snakes. For the large venomous snakes, we're gonna use snake bags, and we're gonna tape it on here, drop them in, twist it, tie it, throw them in the box, and then send them on their way. If you come over here, you'll see our shipping material. So basically it's just a plastic tote approved by the airline. And then inside, this is our insulation. This is nothing but foam. So we have foam and then we have pieces to separate different species. So the species like monocled cobras that are in the same family, if they bite each other, worst case scenario, they'll be fine. But let's say a gaboon viper bites a monocled cobra, then it's a big deal. So we have to separate all these venomous snakes. So we'll throw all the babies. We got 4 babies, we'll throw them in here. And then we'll throw our monocles together, we'll throw the gaboons separate, we'll throw our black and white spitter, which is gonna be crazy to box up today, and then so on and so forth with the rattlesnakes. So let's jump right in. All right guys, today is a bittersweet moment because a lot of these snakes I've had for a really long time. I mean, this pastel right here was one of my first venomous snakes, but I'm getting ready to start getting more pretty, more high-end snakes, basically focus on quality instead of quantity. Look at that guy. Man, he's feisty. Now this is not the craziest morph monocled cobra, not the most expensive monocled cobra, but he is feisty. So I've had cobras in the past that if they weren't real mean, I'd actually sell them. I want snakes that act like themselves, that act like a snake you would see in the wild. And this is definitely one of those snakes. And there he goes. Drop that down, pull it back, and twist. Now that right there is a caught and bagged monocled cobra. So like I said, I'm really focusing on more rare venomous snakes, more high-end venomous snakes, whether it's Mengshan vipers, bushmasters, king cobras, basically rare species of monocled cobras, things like that. That's what I really want in my collection. Instead of having 30, 40, 50 basic venomous snakes, I'd rather just have 10 super high-end, super rare, and super dangerous venomous snakes. We're just gonna keep it on monocled cobras. So that's my pastel. That's the father of all those babies I just got. And this one right here is the mother of all those babies. So she is an albino monocled cobra het lizard leucistic. So it's a leucistic that'll have red eyes. It's basically just albino and leucistic. So right here, we're gonna drop her in. Whoop. Did not go as planned, that's all right. All right, and when you're transporting out of the state, you must have all these snakes double bagged inside of a locked box. So you can't just bag it and throw it in a locked box. You can't just put it in a container and throw it in a locked box. Even if you use a container, you don't need a double bag, but you do need to throw that container inside of a bag. So right here, we have our albino monocled cobra. We'll double bag her and throw her right in. All right, and in the second bag she goes. And of course, when you're shipping, you need to have the scientific name, the common name, you need to have the address, the number of the person you're shipping to, and the airway bill on the box in case it gets lost. And depending on where you're shipping, you're gonna use hot packs, or you're gonna use cold packs, or you can even throw some bottles of water in there to help control the temperature. So that right there is the double bag. We'll get a zip tie for extra protection, and we'll just zip tie just below the knot. God forbid a snake slips through 2 knots, but they're not slipping through a zip tie as well. So there you go, double bag, zip tied, and in with the other monocled cobra. Like I said, these species are the same. So if they bite each other, there's no effect. And I know that because I've bred these cobras together. They've bit each other. They've even bit each other on the neck, sometimes on the head, and they end up just fine. So there we go, monocled cobras. Let's move on to the gaboon viper. The next snake we're gonna ship out is gonna be the largest snake we're gonna ship out. So this right here is my male gaboon you guys are looking at. Check out the horns on him. He's got some of the biggest horns out of any gaboon viper in the captive wildlife industry. Just massive. But we're not shipping him out, we're shipping out this female in the back. So I'm just gently gonna push this guy, trying not to piss him off too much because we don't want him to be an issue when I'm loading her up. So we're just gonna give him a little push. And since we're working with gaboon vipers, you can see I have my double hook. So these double hooks are a lot better for thick-bodied vipers. Balance the pressure on their ribs their spine, their skin, pretty much everything that's going to cause them pain. Because if you think about it, even these smaller and skinny snakes, bouncing on a skinny metal hook doesn't feel the best. All right, now look at this. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to have to put my hands on her because she's just too big. All right. Now, this is a really, really big female gaboon. Look at that. She's just massive. Now, she's really big, but she's not the prettiest. I would like to get a super, super light, super beige gaboon. As you can tell, she's a pig, she's a hog, she eats a bunch. She got some nice pinks on her, but I think it's time for her to go. Now, I'd like to just keep my male and eventually work on getting an even bigger female that is nice and beige. That way I can produce some awesome looking babies. So these gaboons, they move kind of like a caterpillar, super slow, super gentle. So we're just gonna put this right in front of her and she'll probably just slither right in that bag. Now we're sending all these snakes out in the morning tomorrow via Delta Cargo, but we're gonna bag them up the night before because the flight is about 7 in the morning. I gotta be there a couple hours early, and really, I just don't have time to bag a bunch of venomous snakes early in the morning. And this is a snake that's gonna bite you through the bag. I mean, all of them will, but especially this gaboon viper. And with their fangs being the longest fangs out of any venomous snake in the world, this is not a snake you want to take a bite by. Even though the venom's going to hurt, just the initial bite, can you imagine? These fangs are so long that they'll probably go directly through your hand. Now, speaking of gaboon vipers biting you through the bag, my buddy told me about a story in New York.
It was me, I said the story.
About some kids in New York who robbed a zoo, threw a gaboon viper in a trash bag, threw it over their back, and actually got bit on the back of their back. Now, how crazy is that? We're all done with the big cobras. Now let's move on to some of these big rattlesnakes. Now, 2 of these rattlesnakes we're going to be shipping out are pretty darn big. I would say they're sub-adults pushing adult rattlesnakes. This right here is known to be the world's most venomous rattlesnake. This is a South American rattlesnake. Scientific name is Crotalus dorissus. So I'm kind of working in a tight space behind me with these boxes. So I got to be very, very careful because out of all the rattlesnakes I have, this is the last one I want to take a bite from. She is a striker. She is known to strike. I want to make sure we get her balanced.
Careful, Mike.
There we go. We'll get her tail. We'll get her head. And then in goes the world's most venomous rattlesnake. Now, I know you guys see me wearing boots in all of my episodes, and that's for a very good reason. Back in the day, I used to run around barefooted, but I really wasn't handling venomous snakes too much. Now, whether it's a mammal, or a small gator, or a cobra, these boots most of the time are going to stop that bite because they're thick leather. But when it comes to rattlesnakes and gaboon vipers, these boots really aren't going to do much. You're talking fangs that are half an inch, even 2 inches to 3 inches long with the gaboon vipers, and this leather is not going to stop it. Although sometimes it might stop a cobra, definitely not a rattlesnake. And it looks good. All right, guys, now the next big rattlesnake was literally my first venomous snake. This is Tequila. She's an Arizona black-tailed rattlesnake, and she's actually super sweetheart. She is so thick right now. She's probably the fattest snake I have, just because she never misses a meal. And if I have any extra rats or even small pinkies and fuzzies, she always downs them. All right, and I usually like to use the double hook for her because she's so fat. But look at that! Look how fat that Arizona blacktail. It's just time to move on to bigger and better things. All right, guys. Now the next venomous snake we're gonna bag up is my black and white spitting cobra. So she's the last venomous snake we have to bag up today. Now the reason you want to do these guys last is because they'll shower you in venom. And if you have any cuts, they can get into the cuts. And it's really just not good to sit on your skin or even breathe in. So when I clean my venomous snakes, this is always the last venomous snake I clean. That way I can shower immediately after if I can spit on. Now this snake is another beautiful snake that I wish was not a spitting cobra. I mean, look at how good looking that snake is. Black and white, hard to beat it. But unfortunately, these guys do spit, and if they spit on the cage and that venom aromatizes, you can breathe it in, and slowly but surely, you will build an allergic reaction, basically. So keeping these snakes is really not the best thing to do. So I'm getting rid of my spitter. That's the reason, because I don't want to build up an allergic reaction. We're just gonna grab my goggles in case she showers me in venom. My eyes are protected. Now, they'll make you go temporarily blind, but permanently blind, I don't think there's any cases of that ever happening. But just in case, we're gonna wear my goggles. We're just gonna try to be super, super slow with this cobra because, I mean, she's a spit. And I don't want to get spit on. She's super. Doesn't matter how I get her in there. Oops, she's looking at me right in the eyes. Drop that down. And that right there is a caught and bagged spitting cobra. Alright guys, the next venomous snake we're going to pull out is my Field's horned viper. Now all these snakes are a little bit big for these containers I'm about to put them in. We would never put them in here to house. For shipping, this is completely fine. You actually want a smaller container. That way they don't basically pop around. You really want them to feel really, really secure. Bagging up these venomous snakes in these containers is one of the most dangerous things you can do. I mean, it's super, super dangerous. Just want to throw the lid on there, go like that, push it down. And then what we'll do, we put some air holes in this container, but we'll go ahead and we'll tape all around the sides too. 2 winds of tape just in case during shipping, if they get thrown around, they don't get loose. All right guys, this is the snouted cobra. Now I had a really, really good looking snouted cobra. I ended up giving it to Chandler for his birthday. And in return, he gave me this dull colored male. But I mean, it still is a snouted cobra. It's just not as pretty as the one I had. That's okay. And you can also do another technique where you cover half of it and tap the tail. That way they go in. Voila. Snouted cobra. You got to be very careful because you can see these little air holes. Everything we put in there, it's breathable bags. If we use a container, we put a bunch of little air holes. That way they can breathe. And then we put holes in the shipping box as well. Ventilation is one of the most important things. Next, we're gonna do the albino cobra. This guy I got when it was just a tiny little baby. And you can see she has gotten huge. She's probably the biggest of the baby snakes. We're gonna be bagging up today, see if she fits. We might have to get her a bigger container. Tap, and boom. This is the South American rattlesnake. Just like that bigger one, this is just a smaller version. World's most venomous rattlesnake. Even though this is a smaller guy, still do not want to take a bite. We go. We got our 4 smaller venomous snakes all boxed up with some paper towel in case they go poop. Black and white spitter, South American rattlesnake, labeled, photo. All the babies have photos just laying. Some are in the bottom, but bunch of air holes, got the dividers so stuff doesn't bite each other. Got holes going through here, holes on the outer side for ventilation. Arizona blacktail, labeled, but it's in the middle, black bag, got the label right there. And then both the monocled cobras are right here together because, you know, in case they bite each other, it's okay, they'll be fine. I'll throw a couple water bottles in there to control temperature, and then I'll throw these lids. If you guys like this video and you enjoyed watching me catch all these venomous snakes, don't forget like, comment, and the most important part, subscribe to Stone's World, and see you next time.